Hey friends, it's Megan Thomas here, and we are going to take a look at a website today and see how accessible it is. So as a reminder, these videos are for educational purposes, and you know that I'm not here to roast a business, I'm here to help. So this is a real website, and I picked this one to look at because of a couple of things. One, I was looking for a business that a wide variety of people might use. Two, I know about this company because my in-laws were using it for a short period of time, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that as we get into it. And three, because I had a charming commenter on one of my shorts, and what they said was very interesting. So in context, I was talking about the website I looked at last week, I think it was, the physical therapy website. The short I used was, hey, if I am a disabled user, this website is actually making it hard for me to access these services. It's not me that's making it impossible to interact with the website. The website is legally required to be accessible regardless of my level of disability. This commenter said, well, the world shouldn't have to cater to your specific needs. And I said, thank you so much. I am so grateful that you said that because it's not my particular needs. It's the fact that this company should make their website accessible to all of their potential customers or they lose money. What they're arguing for is I shouldn't have to cater to someone whose needs are different than my own. And yet, that person would also argue that they deserve to use their favorite whatever website because, I'm allowed to do whatever I want. I am a free, red-blooded American, whatever. Yeah, you are, and you should have access to any website you want. The part that I wish that person could understand when they left that comment is that it's not just about what my abilities are right this minute. It's that at some point in the future, I will become disabled. It happens to all of us. It's literally one of the stages of being a human and alive. It's not even a human on this planet because even if we find our way to another planet, we're still going to have issues because our human bodies start to break down. We start to lose our mobility. We start to gain arthritis. We start to lose muscle tone. We start to lose our vision. We start to lose our hearing. We start to lose our cognitive processing. And that's not just like people we don't like. That's us. That's everybody. Accessibility is because everyone deserves to have access. So, bro, I agree with you. I shouldn't have to cater to one type of person. But if I make sure that my website or any website is inclusive to everyone, regardless of their accessibility needs or their disabilities, then everyone gets to have access to what they want, right? Right. Okay. So at a glance, this is Marley Spoon. It's a meal delivery service. I picked this because my in-laws are 87 and 89, almost 90. They are really struggling in their late 80s to eat as healthy as they would like to. They know they need to eat healthy, and they're very, very good about reading ingredient lists and not putting things in their body that aren't actually helping them be the most healthy they can be. But they ran into some issues in the last couple of years, essentially with mobility, with just getting things done in a timely way. And frankly, it's just been making my mother-in-law spend 2.5 hours in the kitchen a day because of how slowly she moves and how hard it is to process some of the things to make the meals that they used to. So they started looking at meal service websites, and they've tried a few, but they did end up using Marley Spoon. Now, the problem they ran into here had nothing to do with the website. It had everything to do with the fact that there was just too many ingredients, and sometimes when those ingredients weren't available, the company would send different recipes than they chose, and there's like a loss of control there, and it starts to feel overwhelming and frustrating. So we're not talking about their physical experience with the products. We are talking about, can anyone come to Marley Spoon and feel included, feel like their needs are met and that they can get what they need to do done? Let's check it out. All right, so I'm here on the website. I'm going to reload it in front of you because I just Googled it. And so, of course, I had all of the weird, creepy trackers in the URL bar, and I didn't like that. So we're going to click refresh. And now we see, all right, at a glance, I think it looks pretty good, right? Let's see if they are blocking any key customers, and if it doing so, they're losing money. Now remember, try to imagine somebody's Mima, somebody's Pop Pop. They're old, they got white hair, they got glasses. Just picture what it's like for them just for a minute. And they're using the keyboard because their hands shake. Maybe they've got palsy. Maybe they've got some kind of neurological degeneration. Maybe they have ALS. All sorts of reasons why they might need to use the keyboard, because the keyboard typically stays pretty still and the mouse becomes really difficult to move. So when I press tab, which is how we normally navigate through a website, the first thing we get to is redeem now. But I'm not ready to redeem. I'm trying to look at all of the features, what's going on here. And what I don't see is a skip to content link. We want to make sure that people can get to what they want as quickly as possible. So we didn't see that. That's okay. At the very least, we saw it highlight. We see the focus indicator. The focus indicator is this blue box that we see around the Marley Spoon logo, and it's going to move over to the menu and how it works, customer service, login, choose your meal kit. That's fantastic. We see a visible focus indicator that lets people know, hey, what am I looking at? Where am I? If I press enter right now, what's going to happen? So now it's moving down to explore our options. So what I'm doing right now is, yes, I see my focus indicator on browse our menu. I just wanted to make sure that these weren't interactable. Like I can't click on these, to make sure that we're not skipping anything when we're tabbing through. Let's see just what you need. Wait, where'd it go? Oh, that's because there we go. We see my focus indicator again. Sometimes it's hard to see when you have a dark button like this. This looks like a very dark gray, not quite black, but it is close to black. So that blue is sometimes really hard to see, but we do still see it. It's very helpful when we see that white line on the outside of the blue in case it's on a black background or a dark background. So that's really helpful too. All right, we're down on Let's Go. Check it out. Join the meal evolution. And then we're able to access all of the links here in the footer. Boop, boop. I am navigating to everything. All right, and now I'm up in the address bar. So I have been able, with my keyboard only, to access absolutely every option on this page that might take me to another page of the website. That's good. We like that. Something that I did notice earlier was that the navigation feels a little bit on the lighter side, but I think it's probably still passing color contrast requirements. So let me right click and choose inspect. And over here on the right hand side of my screen, you see the elements panel up at the top. If you've never spent any time on the back end of a website, that's okay. Please don't feel like you're in the wrong place. We're not going to touch the code today. I'm not going to make you be a coder. I'm going to go up here to the top of this bar and press this icon that is a square made out of a dotted line with an arrow pointing into the inside of it. And that, my friends, is the element selector. And it basically allows me to use my mouse like a magic wand. So I'm going to hover over this text over here, and it's going to give me some feedback on it. What we see in this little box here is what color the text is and even what font it is. So it is a font called Rubik, and it's in 14 pixel. Now, me personally, I would expect that to be 16 pixels minimum, because we want to assume that it's easy to read at a distance that's about an arm's length from the user's face. And that's about where my screen is. So I would expect that to be just a tiny bit bigger in order to make sure everybody can see it. Now below that color and font, we see accessibility. And then the contrast is 5.44 to 1. So it is a very light beige, a light tan in the background behind this text color. So it's actually meeting minimum color accessibility requirements, and that's great. So if it was a little bit bigger of a text, I would personally appreciate that just to be able to see it better. Okay, what we see here on the button is that very dark gray button. It's 201E18, so it's not quite black, which is great. It's a little easier on the eyes. There are folks out there whose visual cortex causes some issues. If they have high contrast coming into their eyes, it actually triggers some issues in their brain, like causing migraines. And that we don't want to do either. So if we can, we try to avoid pure white on pure black backgrounds. We try not to layer those over one another because it can cause some visual distortion, which is very uncomfortable. See that FFFDF5? That is not quite white, but almost. And we also see that font is 16 pixel Rubik. That's fantastic. The background is a really dark gray. And we actually have a nice contrast ratio on there of 16.36 to 1. That actually looks really good. My favorite is that it also says keyboard focusable. So it's just giving us some additional information about whether or not someone can interact with that if they are using their keyboard, not just their mouse to interact with it. So this feels like it's pretty good. It's easy to read. So at a quick glance, we've checked for keyboard accessibility and we've checked for color contrast. Let's see, are there any forms that are going to make this more difficult to interact with? Let's see. Oh, that visual focus indicator here is a little harder to see. So we've got the sign up process started. And now you're gonna lose some money, unfortunately, Marley Spoon. So this website, pretty good on the landing page, but now it's blocking some key customers. And if I am a person, not even an aged person, an older adult, but a person who is only able to use the keyboard, let's assume for a minute that I have no visual disabilities and I am a mother. No, I'm a father. I'm a single father. I've got 3 kids. Imagine being someone who's holding a baby that will not stop crying. They are teething. It's loud. It's noisy. We've got the other 2 running around here making noise. And I know that today I can't fix this, but I need to make meal planning easier for me and my family. So I'm using my keyboard because I'm holding a baby in my arm. And now I can't actually interact with anything on this website. I've got a phone in my ear because I'm taking a call or I'm calling the doctor about my colicky baby. I mean, there's just so many things that could impair someone from temporarily accessing this information easily. And it looks like even though the homepage of the website is really friendly and accessible and easy to understand and easy to interact with, the rest of this is not, in fact. And this is the critical point. This is the point where you're able to sign people up and say, yeah, I want some Marley Spoon, but I couldn't interact with any of that just using the keyboard. This is how you lose money. This is how you exclude people, and it has nothing to do with them being disabled. It has everything to do with making sure that your website is easy to understand and easy to interact with. So you're losing money from some people. The way that we would fix this would be a developer making sure that this page can be interacted with the keyboard only. We didn't find any other issues to fix, so I don't have any live fixes to show you today, but hopefully you understand how important this could be. If 1 in 10 people comes, actually, I'm going to do a terrible job at math. So let's just say 1 in 10 people come to this website and they can't interact with this and they've gone away. So even if you've got 9 out of 10, now you're missing 10% of your customers that can't buy this, and they probably would have in order to make their life better. But now you've lost that money. And now they probably don't just have 10 people a day. They probably have 100 people a day, 1,000 people a day. Let's just say 100 people a day. So if we have 100 people a day and minus 90% of them. So we have 10 people a day who come to this website who might otherwise have signed up. And we're going to multiply it by, what was that? $136 for only 3 meals per week. So 136. So let's see, 10 times 136 is $1,360 a day that you might be losing out. And now let's also multiply that times 30 days in the month. So we have $40,000 of revenue that we've lost in 1 month of making that page not accessible to people with a keyboard. And that doesn't include anybody else who might have trouble using that website. Man, that is a lot of money. If I was missing $40,000 a month, I would definitely fix some issues. So this is a great opportunity for them to make sure that they're more inclusive. All right, so if you want to check your own website, I have shared a link in the description of this video. You can go to quickwins.carrd.co. Yes, it's a super fast website I set up. It's quickwins.carrd.co. You can get a checklist of 5 things you can check right now on your website that are going to make it easier for your customers to understand your content and to engage with you and probably even to pay you. If you want me to personally review your website like this, I will do a recorded accessibility and UX walkthrough. I want to make this easy for you to say yes to. This will not be a video that I put on YouTube. This will come directly to you, and I will include at least 5 issues that you can improve on your website that will make it easier for your customers to give you money. I'm really appreciative of you being here and being willing to work to make the world a better, more inclusive place. Thanks so much. All right, take care. Bye.